He the type of person that if you pull up on him at the red light, baby, you're a firework. That's him. He gonna be jamming. As y'all can see from the title, you understand what we doing here. You understand what we here to learn about today. Before we get to that though, allow me to get the introduction out the way. My name is HyLite. And in full transparency, no, I am not a life coach. No, I'm not a guru or something like that. But trust me, you're gonna be able to learn plenty from me. I'm just somebody in his mid-30s who, through the life that I've lived, I've garnered multiple experiences as well as lessons learned from these experiences that I've had. And all I'm doing, I'm just giving information. I'm simply here to help. And I know for a fact that anybody will be able to benefit from the things that I'm be talking about today. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Now, the first principle we're going to talk about today is to know yourself. And when I say know yourself, I'm not talking about no resume. I'm not talking about the grades you done made. I'm not talking about your date of birth, address, all this basic information that you can put down on paper type stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say know yourself, I'm talking about knowing yourself on an interpersonal level, knowing you. And this is how you go about achieving it. Don't worry, I ain't gonna leave y'all stuck out like that. The way you achieve knowing yourself better than you ever have before is to cut out all the distractions and stuff, man. What do I mean by that? This is what I mean. Think about all the things that you like to do, the things you're interested in, the clothes, name brands that you're interested in, the movies that you like to watch, the shows that you like to watch, all of this stuff. Would all of these things hold the same level of appeal to you if you couldn't share with anybody? Think about that. If you couldn't share what you just seen in this movie or what you just heard from this song or the new clothes and all that you just got, if nobody else could bear witness to these things, would you still be as interested? Would it still appeal to you the same? And the reason that this is important is because once you get rid of those things, it helps you to understand why you even interested in the things that you're interested in. Is it because I'm interested in this because I like this thing, or am I interested in this because I think other people will find me more interesting for being interested in these things? And that's highly important. But that's the lens that you want to see things through in order to be more fond and familiar with yourself. All right? Now, another reason knowing yourself and looking through that lens is important. And by the way, I'm looking at my notes, just full transparency. And I know full transparency while you got a mask on is kind of ironic. Anyway, don't overthink it. Now, a second reason why knowing yourself and looking through that lens is important is because it helps you to finally be able to identify what your actual influences are. And that's important. There's plenty of things that we do that we don't even realize. The only reason we do these things is because we feel like it's going to be a good conversation for somebody within our friend group later on. That's what you would call an influence. And the only way you're going to be able to even identify these influences is to know yourself, to be able to see through that lens I was telling you about. And I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I lacked a certain empathy when it came to animals. Now, I'm not some person who used to harm animals or anything like that. I was just somebody that, say, if you saw something on the side of the road, got hit by a car, or anything like that, and you see it still over there laying, I wouldn't feel anything. If it was a raccoon, a possum, dog, or cat, I wouldn't feel anything. I didn't even understand at the time. Maybe it's something lacking there. I didn't get it. Now, it wasn't until I was in my early 30s and I was able to look back and wonder, like, where did this come from? Where did this lack of empathy for animals come from? Where did this lack of identifying with another life, even if it's not a human life, where did that come from? Here's what I ended up finding out. See, I wasn't able to have a pet until I was probably a teenager. My first experience with pets was in my neighborhood. And in the neighborhood I grew up in, one of the things that was prevalent whenever I was coming up was people fighting dogs. And no, I'm not saying human versus animal. Y'all know what I'm talking about. People in my neighborhood used to fight dogs. This was my first introduction to even seeing people interact with animals like that. So because this was my first experience, I'm just going off of what the grown-ups are doing. It's the grown-ups that was fighting these dogs and stuff, and everybody gathered around, everybody socializing and stuff while this happening, while this going on. And because of the way that they acted and they behaved, I wasn't able to readily identify, hey, this is wrong, this is bad, this is unlawful. I didn't know that. I was a kid, I simply just didn't know. And because that was my first experience with dealing with a quote unquote pet, it caused me to lack certain emotions that I probably should have when it came to dealing with an animal life. Thank God that I was able to look back on my life later on and understand where this came from and change that. I can honestly say today I'm far from that little kid. I have plenty of empathy, sympathy, all of that for any form of life. Any form of life. Also, another thing that's important in knowing yourself is if you don't ever understand what your true likes and dislikes are simply because you like or dislike something, you're never going to be able to step outside of those things, or you're never going to have the urge or the passion to discover new things, learn new things. It's always everything about why you do something or why you're interested in these things can always fall back into this how they gonna view me for this. This how they gonna think about me for this. If you never stop to identify what it is you do for you and what it is you do because want other people to see you that way. So that's another reason why that's highly important. Moving on to the second principle, all right? And it's another one that's gonna sound kind of cliche as well as it's gonna kind of tie into the first principle as well. The second principle is be your own person. You probably thinking, man, how is this even a principle? Like, how am I gonna be somebody else but me? Okay, hold on. Let me get to that. What I mean by that is once you get the first principle in action, it's gonna help you to be your own person. It's gonna help you to like what you like for why you like it. It's gonna help you to basically live life without any pressures of feeling like I gotta live up to other people's standards of me. I gotta live up to what other people think of me, right? Let me give you another example. My little brother. I got a little brother. He's probably one of the most influential, one of the most fearless people that I know. Let me tell you why I say that. Usually, people got multiple versions of themselves. But for most people, for sure, we got a version of us that we show to the public, and we got a version of us that we are at home or behind closed doors. My little brother, if there's a version of him that's different behind closed doors, I would be shocked. Not gonna lie, I would be shocked. I have seen this man my whole life behave the way I know I would behave behind closed doors. He behaves like that all the time, in public, in front of everybody, everything. And I'm not gonna lie. When we used to be younger, I used to be kind of embarrassed by that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about how other people is thinking about me, how other people are perceiving me, things like that. I wanted to be accepted by everybody. But he showed me that what's more important than being accepted by everybody is being accepted by the people that's going to accept you for you. And the only way that you can even achieve that is to be your own person. I like hip hop. I like R&B. I like rap, all this stuff. My little brother, he like that stuff too. He enjoys that stuff. But he also likes soft rock. He also like pop music. I'm in here, I could be jamming to, it don't even matter. I could be listening to my rap, listening to my hip hop, R&B, whatever. He will pop out and be listening to pop music in public. I'm talking about Katy Perry fireworks to the top of his lungs, jamming. He the type of person that if you pull up on him at the red light, baby, you're a firework. That's him. He gonna be jamming. He can look over at you. He's not gonna feel a shred of embarrassment. He is living his life. Now, like I was talking about with the last principle, that peace, that inner peace and peace of mind, he always had that because he ain't worried about what everybody else is thinking. Another reason that that's important, right? Let me look at the notes. Another reason that that is important because it helps you to identify who the people are in your life that's really there for you. If you simply being yourself at all times is enough to make certain people not want to deal with you, well then let them go. These people ain't your true friends anyway. These people ain't got your best interest at heart anyway. What happens in the future? What if you end up getting mistaken in some unlawful thing and you got to go to court now and you need things called a character witness? A character witness in court is somebody who knows you or has known you for an extended amount of time, and they're simply there to speak on what you are like as a person. Imagine them having to go in there and try to explain the person you've been pretending to be all this time. Imagine how guilty you gonna feel for having misled these people the whole time. You've been showing them a fake version of yourself this whole time, and now this fake version of you is what they have to give a testimony about. Why would you even do that to people? How can you consider yourself somebody else's friend and you've been lying to them this whole time? Don't make no sense. Now, goes right into my last little supporting part for this principle. Being yourself, being your own person, allows you to be more genuine. Allows you to be more genuine. Anytime that you faking it or anytime you doing something for any other reason other than this is you, people can sense it. People can feel it. You might not think that, but they honestly can. They might not be able to articulate it. They might not even have to. There's just gonna always be something in the back of their brain. It's, I don't know. It was just something about him. He kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. He just something. He always seemed like he was hiding something. I don't know. She just always seemed like it was something that she just wasn't gonna say. I don't know. So it allows you to be more genuine, as well as it allows you to be perceived as more genuine, more of an honest, trustworthy person, simply by being your own person. Moving on to principle number 3. Principle number 3 is be open to correction. Be open to correction. Now, it don't matter how much of an expert you are on something. It don't matter how many details you know. You still could have overlooked something, as well as the fact that there's always value in another perspective. Even if you've processed everything you possibly can about this subject, you've only processed it in every way that you can from your perspective. Somebody else may come in off of a different perspective and it could be something surface level and you could, dang, I never thought of that. Right. That's because they have a different perspective, a different lens in which they see things. Now, in order to be open to correction, you have to put your ego and emotions in check. You gotta have that under control. Now, that does not mean that you just become a doormat and let anybody talk to you any kind of way just because they might have the right information. No, they still need to be delivering this information to you respectfully, right? Don't sit there and let somebody insult you or talk down to you or something just for the sake of gaining some information. Now, does that happen sometimes? Yes. If this is your parent or this is your boss or something talking to you, sometimes you got to take a little bit with that because, I mean, that's your boss. This is your parent. The delivery might not always be politically correct. When you're in those type of instances, at least take the information from it. For instance, when I was younger, my mama used to tell us, hey, ain't no talking back. And that was law in the crib. Ain't no talking back to mama. I don't care how she delivering it. I don't care how much she yelled. I don't care if she was incorrect about what she's saying. You're not even able to correct mama until she done talking. So I had practice with this early because I wasn't trying to let mama, I wasn't trying to get them hands put on me by mama. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm going to be respectful. And even in that, she used to get upset with me sometimes because she would say whatever I needed to hear, however she wanted to deliver it. And after she was done saying what she had to say, my response more times than not was, okay, mom, I hear you, but do you have to yell? Boy, get out my face. Yes, ma'am. Now, what's the importance there? The importance is, even though I might not have appreciated the way it was getting delivered to me, for one, that's my mama. I'm still gonna treat her with the utmost respect. Cause she might have been saying it a little more aggressive than I like, but she wasn't just disrespecting me. Come on, we're not doing that. But also, that taught me to differentiate between how she's saying and what she's saying. The things she was saying, I needed to hear these things. That is the information I needed. And it was helpful to me. It was beneficial to me, which is another key part of being open to correction is you still get the benefit of learning and growing with that information. Think about it this way. If somebody corrects you on something, that means that initially you were incorrect. But after you get corrected, from that point forward for the rest of your life, when it comes to that topic or that subject, you will always be correct. And we gotta stop getting so caught up sometimes in who the person is that's saying, oh, you don't know more than me. You ain't as cool as me. People don't accept you like they accept me. You ain't been on this job as long as I have. You ain't lived as many years as I have. So what? Is the information they giving you correct? Because that's all that matters. That's all that matters. We need to be able to process somebody correcting us no different than if you was to take your clothes out the dryer. You take your clothes out the dryer and you happen to drop a sock. And somebody says, hey, excuse me, you dropped a sock. Oh, appreciate it. Thank you. We might not look at that as a form of correction, but it is. That is a small form of correction to where your ego and emotions and all that ain't challenged. We should view correction, period, in the same way. And like I was saying earlier, we got to stop being so caught up in who's giving the information, which goes into my third supporting fact my third supporting idea for being open to correction is most times than not, an enemy is going to be more honest to you than a friend. Now, why is that? Well, because this enemy, they ain't worried about how you feel. They ain't worried about how you going to receive what they saying. They just going to say it. Now, you might not like what they saying. Of course not. They ain't even got to be an enemy. Let's just say somebody trying to roast you. They could be a stranger or something. You might not even know this person. You could be your first time meeting them and they say something, man, what's up with them dirty shoes? Golly. What, you can't afford some new ones? You couldn't afford some good ones? Now, of course, they out of line for, that's personal. They are out of line for that. But the first part they said about your shoes being dirty. Yeah, you might not like that they said it. You might not like them putting you on the spot like that. Of course, you're not going to like them joking on you at your expense, but is your shoes dirty? And that's what we got to start being more perceptive about. Forget how it's being delivered. Forget who's delivering. If it's the truth, it's the truth. And we got to accept it as that. And that all comes from being open to correction. Because at the end of the day, you still going to benefit from it, right? You still going to benefit. Now, moving on to the fourth principle. And before we get into the fourth principle, anything that y'all want me to talk about, anything y'all want me to go into more detail about and elaborate on, please feel free to put that in the comments. I promise y'all I'm going to read the comments and I'm going to take y'all suggestions. So for whatever y'all want to hear, whatever y'all need more details about, whatever, just whatever, put it in the comments and trust me, we're going to get to it. Now for the fourth principle, be responsible, be accountable. How do you be responsible? Simple. Take care of the stuff you know you need to take care of, as well as take care of the things that you said you was going to take care of. Don't be out here just giving your word, and your word means something. Back in the day in medieval times and all that, that's how people didn't go around saying, hey, you gonna do such and such? Yeah, I'm gonna do such and such. You promise? Yeah, I promise. I just gave you my word. I ain't gotta make no promise. I ain't gotta cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in all that other stuff. Because people's word meant something. You need to make sure your word means something. Like I said, take care of what you know you need to take care of, as well as what you say you're gonna take care of. That makes you more dependable. That makes you more reliable, right? As well as when you're responsible as well as accountable. Being accountable means the things that you don't take care of, own up to it. Admit it. Yeah, I said I was gonna finish this in 20 minutes. I did. I took a little longer than expected. Be honest about it. Be accountable for it. What's the benefit of being responsible and accountable? It shows maturity, and being accountable helps with teamwork. It helps with camaraderie, and it does this by building what's called trust equity. What is trust equity? Simple, it's in the name. The people that I'm dealing with know they can trust me. They can either trust me to do what I say I'm gonna do, or they can trust me to, when I don't do what I say I'm gonna do, they can trust me to be honest about it. And that helps in communication, that helps with teamwork, that helps with chemistry of things, because after a while a certain pattern gets developed to where, okay, I know what I can depend on him for, I know what I can't depend on him for, I know what I can depend on her for and what I can't. I know know if I try to hold this person accountable, this finna be a whole nother headache in itself. So that's why that's important. As well as when you're responsible about what you need to be responsible about, and when you take accountability, first off, for anybody out there, for a young man, young woman, that's highly important. This is gonna affect you in all areas, at the job, in education. It's gonna affect you in relationships, all around the board. You got to be responsible. You got to be able to be held accountable. How are we supposed to make proper corrections if you can't even be held accountable? Going back to what was that, point 3? Another benefit of being accountable is it makes it easier for you to hold other people accountable. Now, if I'm in this group and we are working together and I'm slacking, I'm over here with my feet up, I'm over here doing all kind of stuff that ain't, go. My bad, y'all. Now, when you got all kind of other stuff that's just taking you away from the main portion that you supposed to be responsible for, how you supposed to hold somebody accountable? You ain't doing what you supposed to do. Let me tell you how this goes. You gonna point out something somebody ain't doing. Oh, Trish over there, she ain't doing what she's supposed to do. All Trish gonna say is, well, Greg ain't doing what he's supposed to do either. Why? I don't even know why he opened his mouth think he could talk about me. Exactly. You're gonna get crickets after that. How you what kind of audacity you gotta have to even try to tell somebody to do something when you ain't doing your part? That's crazy. Makes no sense whatsoever. So the benefits of being responsible and being accountable, it helps the team. It helps the camaraderie. It helps us to have trust in each other. Highly important. On to the final principle of today's video. Set goals. Set you some goals. What's the importance of setting goals? Let me tell you. When you set goals, it not only gives you a sense of purpose, but it also gives you a sense of direction. It helps you to eliminate the distractions, because essentially when you set goals, what you're doing is you giving yourself a particular lens to see the world through. For instance, what if, let's say one of your goals is you want to be a boxer. As soon as you make that decision, I want to be a boxer. Now you have a boxer's lens to look at the world through. You might want to go hang out with your friends, but how much sense do it make to go hang out with your friends, go clubbing or something, or be out late night when I want to be a boxer? I got to get up early in the morning. I got to be up at 5:30 in the morning for my first workout. Okay, that helps you. Nah, I ain't gonna go out with y'all tonight. I'm gonna see y'all though. Yeah, I'm gonna see y'all, but I gotta hit the gym in the morning. That allows you to cut out the distraction, and it allows you to be on your purpose and give you direction for how you need to be behaving in everyday life. Let's say you end up finding yourself a day off from training and you are hanging out with your friends and stuff. Y'all could be at the club, y'all could be at a little kickback, whatever it is. They want you to, hey, come take some shots. You already at the party. You already hanging out, but you ain't just anybody hanging out. You a boxer in progress hanging out with your friends. You a boxer at this party. Does it help or does it benefit your boxing career for you to be taking these shots at the party? No. No, it don't. So, you could, oh no, I appreciate it, but I'm good. Simple and plain. It makes it a lot easier for you to make that decision. Why? Because I'm not just making this decision as a party goer. I'm making this decision as a boxer. I'm living in my purpose that I set for myself through the goals that I set for myself. Another reason why setting goals is important is because when you set these goals and now you have your lens to look through, and every single decision you make can be based off of, is this going to help me achieve my goal, or is this going to take away from me achieving my goal? It reveals also, how bad do you want it? You say you want to be a boxer, but you can't stop drinking this alcohol. Well, you mean to tell me you want to drink this alcohol more than you want to be the boxer? Is that what you're saying? Because if that's what you're saying, well, then you just revealed to yourself your true intentions and what you really want. Oh, it sounded good to say I want to be a boxer. It sounded good to say I want to be in top shape and all of that. But if you still sitting here doing all these things that you know is detrimental to you as a boxer, why you still doing it? And that's also the importance of what setting a goal can do for you. It gives you the perspective. It gives you the lens. It gives you the boundaries in which you're supposed to be making your decisions through. If anything is going to cross that boundary and be a detriment to you achieving your goal, cut it out. And if you can't do that, then that just means you ain't want it as bad as you thought you did. Goes all the way back to being responsible, being accountable. See how all these things tie together? They all tie together. This is the foundation. Just to reiterate, the 5 principles Know yourself. Be your own person. Be open to correction. Be responsible. Be accountable. Set goals. As far as the video for today, that's all the information I got for you. I will be coming with more videos soon. And like I said, leave in the comments about what you want to hear from me from. What you want to know about. What would you like more real world application type knowledge? What do you want to know about? Let me know. And if you found any of these things helpful, please put them into practice. Don't just sit there and not apply these things we taught. Well, it wasn't that helpful to me. How you know? Apply any of these things that I taught you. Come back. Let me know how it worked out for you. And I promise you, I'm going to have more information. I'm going to have more tips and more guidance ready for you.